And how much did your training vary from that point? I know your career sort of spans quite a number of years, so I could be a little bit more specific. But when you were running your fastest times, and I hope they were around the same time, like your 27:14 and your 13:02.
No, those were a long time apart.
Well, that's actually, I mean, that could actually make this conversation more interesting. How
Yeah.
do you know the years
Those
of
are
difference
8 years
between?
apart, maybe
Wow. Okay. So
nine,
what
10 years
did you
apart,
run
maybe.
first? Wow.
So the 5K first.
Okay.
Yep. And that I was working with Mark Coogan then, and that's when I was training with Sam Shalanga. And yep. And then the 27:14 was just a few years ago, when I was working with Ray Tracy, and I had a training partner that I hired, Dan Kurtz, who's still in the area, running with me.
Awesome.
Yeah,
How different was your training in between
quite a bit
those
different.
two
Quite a bit different.
PBs? Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. I could be testing your memory going back a decade, but like, was your what did your weekly structure look like when you ran your 13:02 in terms of how did you divide up the miles and the speed
Yeah.
and things?
So uh, let's see if I can remember correctly. It was a lot of so Coogan had me on the standard week schedule, in calendar week schedule of the universities, where you typically Monday easy, Tuesday workout, Wednesday slightly longer run, Thursday easy, Friday workout, Saturday easy, Sunday long.
Mhm.
And that was the plan under Coogan. Um, did a lot of mixed workout of threshold tempo work with speed, but a lot of high volume. And so I was actually looking back at the training under Coogan a little while ago, and a typical workout may be 5 by a K in 250, then a 20-minute tempo, so a 4 mile tempo, and then another 5 by a K in like 245. So I would get pretty good volume, or I'd do a 20-minute tempo, a bunch of 2-minute hill reps, and then another 20-minute tempo. There's a lot of tempo stuff with some speed around on the sides. But most workouts would be 8 to 11 miles of volume in the workout, and then warm up and cool down.
Gee.
Um, Rarely did anything especially fast. Rarely did anything that was 5K race pace. That those were very few and far between.
Yeah.
And so it was a different. And then long runs every weekend would be 18 to 20 miles, and running 6-minute pace. So slightly not hard long runs, but moving long runs. Whereas with Ray Tracy, he spreads everything out a little bit more, and it's more of like a 10-day cycle. And so the mileage was a lot higher. I was probably running an additional 20 miles a week, if, rolling 7-day. And the workouts were faster. And so a workout under Tracy leading up would be, what would be one? 10 times 600 meters in 131, and then a few 300s quick afterwards. Or he did a lot of he liked the 2 by 20 minute tempos a lot, and he liked a lot of mile and a half repeats. And so it was it was a more grinding, without question. Ray Tracy was a lot more grinding of a workout, whereas Coogan was a lot of bopping around between run fast, fairly relaxed, run fast, run fairly relaxed.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting that even the earlier one, it still sounds like you were covering quite a few miles. Like I know you
Oh
said,
yeah,
so I've got the coaches' names muddled up. I can't remember which one was before and which one was after, but that the earlier one sounded like you were still
Coogan.
ticking off.
Yeah,
Yeah, Coogan, you're
yeah.
still ticking off quite a few miles.
Oh yeah.
And I love the fact that you're saying you weren't doing anything too incredibly fast. There'd be so many audience members disgusted at you that you mentioned the second set of by K were 2:45s. But I guess it's all in context of the times that you were running. But
Yeah.
yeah, so on a weekly sort of rolling average, what were you doing in terms of miles with Coogan in
So Coogan
comparison?
would probably be closer to 90 to 95, probably average wise.
Yeah.
And under Ray Tracy, it would be 115 to 120.
So what's that? 860. Oh, so close to 200 kilometers, or I don't know if you know your metric system well, but I think, is that right? 160K is 100 miles. Sorry, 100 miles is 160K. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you were, man, that's like in terms of going back to the time consumption element, that's where the Nordic skiers got to come out in you, because
Yeah.
that's a huge time commitment. So in terms of doubles and things like that, what would you be doing for your double
I mean, I
runs?
double all the time.
Yeah.
Like a 12 miles in the morning, 5 in the afternoon was a standard easy day.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. And did you feel like your body? Well, obviously it was responding well in the sense that you ran fast off that. But was that something you were able to maintain for a long time?
Um, I was with Ray for maybe 5 years, I want to
Gee.
say. But doing race training solo was very challenging.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so I was getting burnt out at the end doing that training solo. Doing it with other people was fine. Like when I had Dan Kurtz as a training partner, um, it was fine. But doing that work solo was very challenging because Coogan's workouts were so much more change of speed. It mentally it's a lot easier to do that by yourself because even if you're tired, you can go and hop out and do a 20-minute tempo by yourself and still getting good work. And all the fast stuff was quite short in duration. Ray Tracy loved the workout where you have to grind one extra lap on the track than you actually want to. And it makes you very tough and it makes you very strong, no doubt. He's had great success and I ran well under him. But that's hard to do solo. and when I had training partners that helped me through majority of the workouts, Ray Tracy's workouts were much more manageable and fun. But not as much completely solo.
Yeah. Did your body hold up well in terms of injury? It sounds like just the fact that you've ran so fast and been able to endure so much of this just long mileage style training, or at least from my perspective, it sounds very long miles. That you were naturally a pretty strong guy. Did you struggle with injuries at all, or did you get away with it pretty easily?
I've gotten very lucky in not having many injuries that actually take me out.
Mhm.
But I mean, I'm a runner, so I don't think I ever had a week where I wasn't in pain running. And most mornings I wouldn't be able to doing the track workouts. I wouldn't be able to walk to the bathroom in the morning. Normally, I'd be hobbling about. It'd take me a while to warm up. Um, and it wasn't until I did my first marathon build with Ray that the paces came way down, slower, right? And the mileage went up even more, but the body responded to that even more, and that could just been from age. But that's when I stopped being in so much pain all the time. Is when we kind of got off the track and started doing a little bit more longer distance training.
Yeah. And what do you got your eyes on at the moment? Are you still eyeing off some good marathons?
We'll see. So currently nothing's on the schedule. I raced Boston this past spring. It went terribly.
Oh, I didn't see. You don't have to
Oh
tell
yeah.
me, but what went wrong there?
Oh, who knows? It was one of those ones where you start the start and you get about a mile in, and right from there it's going to be a very long
Oh,
day. It almost felt like the only way I can describe it to myself is I went in with like the gas tank half full. I never felt like and it wasn't that I was like not eating well leading in. It was or tapered down. I did both of those, but it just didn't feel like I was fully energized right from the start. And it was a very long slog. I think I ran 2:16, 2:17. But but it was quite brutal. And uh, I was so burnt out that uh, I'm just now getting back into like resemblance of training.
Yeah.
I've been exercising. I've been running, 60 to 80 miles a week, but just now is when I'm starting to like feel life back in my body.
I know you mentioned the finish time, but even though you felt so average, did you still go out at a pace? Like, what did you go through half in?
Oh no, I was out by then. By in Boston by what is it, 7 miles? I was like, I'm full on bonked. I'm not gonna make it to the finish line.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah, it
that's
was it was a rough race. Yeah.
what have you run for a marathon?
I raced. That was my second marathon. I raced New York City as my debut. And would we run there? I don't know, 2:12, I think, or something
Oh
like that.
wow, because
I
not
was
renowned to
seventh.
be a super quick race either. It's quite
No,
twist and turny, isn't it? I
yeah,
remember whenever an Aussie goes over there to run, I'm like, oh, they're obviously there for they're being paid to be there,
yeah,
or they're there for prize money because no one's
exactly,
going there to break PBs, are they?
exactly, yeah, exactly.
Man, so if you like, assuming, I mean that I know you said you're taking it easy and exercising at 90 miles a week or whatever it was, but if you were to start targeting another marathon, what do you like? Have you got your eyes on next year at all in Paris? Like, are you looking to qualify?
um, to be honest, the idea of racing the Olympics is not something that sparks anything in me.
Wow.
So I think a major marathon would be more interesting to me than say the Olympic marathon. So yeah, maybe redemption of at Boston.
It's funny you say that though, because I often look at the world of tennis and you look at the four majors that they have in the tennis world. Like a Wimbledon means so much more to a tennis player than an Olympic title. And I don't know that you can make that comparison directly with distance running, but I think like if it's a Berlin marathon or a London marathon, it'd be interesting to speak to a number of athletes about. I mean, you can't really get past the childhood dream of the Olympics for a lot of people, but
No, but financially, a world marathon major victory is a whole lot more lucrative than
for
than an
sure.
Olympic medal for the marathon. Yeah,
Probably true in tennis as well. I mean, they're
yeah,
not taking too much from an Olympic victory comparison to sort of a Wimbledon.
exactly.
No, awesome, man. And in terms of your coaching now, like I've been enjoying the last couple of days having a good look at your website and seeing what you've created
Yeah.
over there in the coaching front.
Oh yeah.
Man, do you want to speak to that a little bit? I'll make sure at the start of this people will hear about it, and I'll have the show notes and everything linked to it for people interested. But I mean, it'd be interesting to hear it from you what you've sort of launched out to create with that.
Yeah, no. So we launched out this. It's a club, Northwoods Athletics, and we're just trying to um, showcase the Upper Valley, is what we call it, the area that we live in. And we think this has some of the best training in all of the United States. And so, in an ideal world, we're going to try to get kind of like an elite training center group here, but also want to really emphasize just running in general. And so a lot of community outreach. We do a weekly group run in the area. We just launched a race series through Strava
I saw
in,
that.
in the area. So it's a lot exciting and doing some coaching as well, which has been a lot of fun. And yeah, we're trying to grow it out.
Who put your website together? It looks awesome. I'm such a fan for a nice website, and I looked at
Oh yeah.
yours, and it
Oh,
looks as
thanks.
though it's been done professionally. And I looked at yours and thought, okay, mine needs to be touched up a little.
No, you're being too kind. No, that was just us, the three of us on the team, just chipping away at
you've,
it.
you've nailed it. Was it Squarespace?
Yeah, it's just Squarespace. Yeah,
Wow, good job. I'm gonna have to go and do
yeah,
some research on the template, and you might see some.
exactly.
No, awesome, man. Well, hey, I won't hold you up, but mate, thanks so much for coming on. So good to be able to
Yeah,
pick your brain and hear a little bit more about the story behind the results. It's. I mean, I've admired your runs from a distance for quite a while since back in the college days. So it's nice to actually get a chance to sit down and have a chat to you.
yeah. Well, thank you for having me. No, it's been a pleasure. Yeah, a
Awesome,
lot of
man.
fun.
Hey, we'll leave it there. I'll see you later, everybody.
All right, thank you.
Awesome, man. I'll cut that one.